Miller and Jeffries.
Oh, thank
My
you very
Lord.
much. Thank you.
You know, Ann, I want to tell you, I have seen you many years at some of the greatest charity events in town, from St. Jude's to the Thalians. I mean, you've really given yourself into these charities.
Well, I think I'm a charity queen or something, but I'm such a believer in the causes of what they're trying to do, what they're raising money for.
Sure.
So I always do what I can, even just show up.
Now, I have to tell you something, a little secret I know. Of all these great women from stage and screen tonight, this is one of the only ones that it was on the most popular television program in the world, Baywatch.
Yes, how about that?
David Hasselhoff's mother on the show.
That's wonderful. And I got to wear a bikini one time, too. Isn't that exciting?
I mean, think about it. You know, that show is the #1 show in the world.
I know. And the residual checks keep coming in and coming in. I got 2 today.
Too bad it didn't have a topper, right?
Yeah, that was before its time, I think.
Do you realize that Topper's still playing somewhere in the world
Oh, sure.
on cable
Oh, sure.
all the time?
I know.
It's hit generations that never even realized it, and they're still wondering what happened to this. I mean, I used to watch it as a kid, but I saw it on cable the other night.
Yes.
And it's funny, as much as I've seen you over the years, and I've always still equate you with that show.
I know a lot of people do. A lot of people have just discovered that I sing or sang because
Right.
the Three Wishes for Jamie's
Right.
album is playing on some radio station all the time. And people say, I didn't know you sang.
Now,
My gosh.
But Ann, you started on stage originally, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, and tell us about your beginning on stage before you came to Hollywood.
Well, I started in opera in New York. And my actual stage profession came after I had been here and made some films. I went back to New York, and I was there for 10 years consecutively doing Broadway. That's my love.
You know, I interviewed Gary Owens and Florence Henderson last week.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that they're playing show tunes on KGIL 1260 from
That's the one.
1260,
That's
and
the
that's
one.
playing all these Broadway shows. And when they're talking about the original Broadway cast from 20 years ago, people are falling over going, I didn't know that person was in that, or that person sang. So you don't realize I can understand why one goes, Ann Jeffries sang that on Broadway? We won't say how long ago that was, will
Well,
we?
so why not? I did Street Scene, the Kurt
Yeah.
Weill, and then I did one written for me by Sigmund Romberg for the Schuberts. And then I did, what did I do then? Three Wishes for Jamie, I think. And then before that, I did Kiss Me Kate for 2 years. And then I did Kismet, all on Broadway. So, and on the road too. I don't stay still very long.
You know, most stars will tell you that they did a certain thing and then graduated. This is the only star I know that went on Broadway, did all this stuff, and then goes on Baywatch.
It came backwards and underwater. No. Baywatch, don't laugh at it. It's a nice show, and it has,
I love it, believe
has
me.
a moral. Every one of them has a moral. If you can see past the beautiful ladies and the good-looking men, there is a moral in there.
I'm kind of stuck on the beautiful ladies, but you know I have her with me right now, and I have to let her go in because the thing's about to begin. But Ann, thank you for being on the
My
town.
pleasure.
And I really appreciate it.
Nice to see you, and I'll take that shirt when you're through with it.
I have one final request.
What?
Just look at the camera.
Oh.
Ann Jeffries.
Thank you.
Do I know how to spot beautiful women, or do I know how to spot beautiful women? Tippe Hedron. She thought she was going in. I wasn't going to let her going in.
Thank you.
You've got a lot of projects going on.
I do.
I mean, you got like movies, you got multiple movies.
Yes, I do. And of course, the Shambhala Preserve, of which I am very much involved. But I just did three really wonderful movies, and they're all very, very different from each other, which is kind of fun. I did the Ed Wood script that was never done while he was alive. It's called, the title is I Woke Up Early the Day I Died, with Billy Zane. And it's so funny. We just had a wonderful time doing it. It was fabulous. And then I did Break Up with Bridget Fonda, which is very, very serious. It's about spousal abuse and, extremely serious. And another film titled Deadline, in which I play a judge.
You're a judge?
Yeah. And but the Billy Zane thing, the character is I'm a professional mourner who lives in a lighthouse, is totally deaf, and is a karate expert. Isn't that fun?
Now, you've got a pilot coming up, too.
And a pilot, yes, and I hope it's going to go. It's for HBO, and it's Joanna Kearns and Gregory Harrison, and it's called Love and Madness.
Well, I know where the madness is coming from, but I know where the love's going to come from in this particular. You know, if you had your choice right now of anything you wanted to do, what type of project would you like to take on?
Oh boy. Well, probably in one extension of my life, I love to do a sophisticated comedy, you know, and in the other extension of my life, I want to see the Shambhala Preserve just flourish and be there forever.
Tell us a little bit about that, because that's really your one charity that you've taken on. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a facility. It's a beautiful, beautiful place called Shambhala. And
where's it located?
It's located about an hour from here, northeast of here, off the 14 freeway, outside of Acton. Yeah, it's a little bit west of Acton, Farmdale.
Right.
And we take in animals that have been abused or abandoned or neglected. Basically, they're big cats. That's our expertise, and 2 wonderful African elephants. And we've been doing this since 1972.
Yeah, a long time.
And unfortunately, there are so many people that are illegally breeding these animals and irresponsibly selling them that we have to literally turn down 5 to 8 big cats a month. And that it breaks my heart. And we need more land. We need, you know, everything needs to be more.
Well, I see what part of the problem is being in Los Angeles. So you go an hour north of Los Angeles. It could have been complete desert. No one out there 10 years ago, and all of a sudden the houses encroach. You'd have to go out 200 miles away from Los Angeles to get any amount of land.
Probably.
And it's, you know, that's part of the problem. Do you remember the old days, the animal zoo for the movie studio was out in Thousand Oaks?
Yes.
And off the 101 freeway, it was an hour north of L.A. Now it's in the city.
Oh, it's true.
I mean, it's really,
true.
Everything's grown up around it.
When we moved out to Acton, there wasn't even a freeway. It was in 1972. The freeway wasn't there. It was just very, very much desert.
The old Sierra Highway.
Yes, you had to go by Sierra Highway.
That's the only way to get there. No, I understand it well.
Yeah.
And that area's all grown up. And
yes, it has.
The land is shrinking.
It's called encroaching civilization.
And you know, and as much as we talk about maybe that's a housing thing, that's really what's happening with the cats. Because their habitat is being encroached on.
Absolutely it is, yes. And that is what's happening in the wild. And, you know, this is a very, very sad situation because, you know, we need these animals on this planet. We have no right to take it over all by ourselves.
Right.
I think what we need to do is be a little more conscious of birth control.
I understand.
And that's realistic.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, breeding wild animals, who really has expertise except very few people?
And they shouldn't be. They shouldn't even be in captivity,
right.
You know. They
well,
shouldn't.
You saw her here, Tippe Hedron, right on the town. They're opening the doors. In fact, they're closing behind us, so we're going to have to let you go.
Yes.
But thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Appreciate
very much.
it. Okay. With all the beautiful women here tonight and all the women from the stage, I was lucky enough to get Rhonda Flemming right here with us. I mean, listen,
I'm lucky to get you.
This place is full of your friends.
Oh, lots of friends. It's a treat because I don't come out too often to the premieres and big things anymore. It's a special treat to come to this one. And Carol Channing being honored tonight, who's a very dear friend. We're sitting with Carol, and she's just a doll, and we love her and her husband Charles. So we had to come for this one for sure. And of course, the wonderful support they give to children at Cedars. So.
You know, whenever we have a great start on this, and myself being a little bit Hollywood buff, I want to take you back a long time ago. A movie, one of my favorite movies. You know, it might have been a number of years ago, but the story is so cute. Bing Crosby and you and a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court.
Yes.
And at the very end, when he looks up in the balcony and sees you, and he starts to whistle and it goes into the music. What a great scene.
Because I kind of wink at him, you know,
right.
and we did that about 3 weeks after the film was over, and I felt so much more rested. I wish I'd gone on back and done the whole thing again.
Yeah.
He was my favorite.
Oh.
He was my favorite to work with. Being with me was just as nice as he could be, and a gentleman, and we had a good time. He always made it fun. But I was so serious when I was made that. I was so scared.
You know, I'll tell you why I love that picture so much. The great character actor is a supporting role.
Oh, yes.
The king played always had a cold.
Always.
You know,
Was he one?
it was a running gag constantly.
Yeah.
Just all the great character actors from William Bendix and all the way through. Just
it charming, and Bing, of course, just carried the whole thing. I was just I was just lucky, really, to be in it, because what a thrill it was for me with my first starring role above the title, in color, starring with Bing Crosby.
Really?
He never wanted to star alone.
But all you had to do was just smile and bat your eyes at that time.
It's about all I did.
You had the crowd just kind of wooing it the whole time.
A little bit of singing. I remember I had a voice coach once that was an old Italian maestro, and I would really worked hard at singing properly. And he used to say, now you sing on the note as the composer intended it to be. Never, never, never go boo-boo-boo-boo like a Bing Crosby. Well, a number of years later, there Bing wants me for the film, and I also just stuck in my head. I said, Bing, I hate to tell you what my voice coach said about you, but look at the success Bing had with no training.
You know, really, he set the tone for what a crooner was.
He really did.
And everyone wanted to be a crooner after listening to Bing Crosby.
He did a lot of copying. He was one of a kind. One of a kind, and I miss him, and I miss my friend in Gunfight at the OK Corral, the Burt Lancaster, who was just a terrific man to work with. I worked with Ronnie Reagan. I made a lot of films with Ronnie, and Ronnie was a gem to work with. He was the most casual, down-to-earth, real, non-movie starish, just never fought you for the mirror. He was just great. So I feel very privileged to have done 4 films with him.
Can you believe that? I got a favor to ask you.
What?
You know, we're the #1 show on cable all through California, and we're on public television in a lot of locations. And so for public television, Hugh Hauser and myself, he has California Gold. We kind of alternate in the #1 position all through the state. We'd like to come back and visit with you, maybe for a show, 30 minutes, and go back over your career and just talk about some of the great performers you've worked with.
What a treat. I'd be delighted. Thank you.
I mean, we had a 30-minute show last month with Julia Child and visit 30 minutes with her. And I'll tell you, we had more response that people got to really listen to her for 30 minutes and talk about her career and how she started. And of course with you, I'm still kind of like, I can't believe I'm here with Rhonda Flemming.
You know, it is nice when you do that, because I would never write a book. It's not in me to do that. And yet there are so many anecdotes and so many cute things that could be said and told that no one would ever know otherwise.
Right.
So it's interesting to get one-on-one interviews like that, and I would be very proud and honored.
Great. We'll come back for public television and visit with Rhonda Flemming. And,
Great.
And you know something, and as much as I love that, it looks like everyone's walking in. We got to let her go.
I think so.
Promise. But we'll take you in. Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm here with one of Hollywood's beauties, Dale Kristien, and she starred in Phantom of the Opera here in Los Angeles, didn't you?
Yes, I did, for 4.5 years.
4.5 years. Are you still singing with Michael Crawford?
Do I still what?
Sing with Michael Crawford?
Yes, I do. Actually, we're now doing concerts, and we're going to Australia shortly.
Now, this isn't the first time you've been to the Thalian Ball, is it?
No, this is my second, but I don't have to sing this time.
She performed last year as one of the stars of the show, and I'll tell you, I looked inside. Now, we haven't said this on camera yet, but the stage is set like it's the set from Hello Dolly with Carol Channing ready to come down. Who's the handsome escort with you?
This is my friend Jeff McGrail.
Oh, Jeff, how are you doing?
Good.
Welcome tonight. It's a great evening, isn't it?
Lovely.
A lot of stars.
Yeah,
Well, we're
very
grabbing
nice.
them as they're coming through, and Dale, you're one of the most beautiful ones, but I have to tell you, I love your voice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Nice
meeting you.
You have a great time tonight. You got a great looking date.
What can I say?
You got it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. We had a wonderful time bringing you these great stars from the Century Plaza Hotel, where the Thalians put their 1997 ball together for Carol Channing. Until next week, we'll take you to another great location, another great charity, and a whole set of new stars. You're on the town with Mike Farah.